Hello again and welcome to the video. So today we've got this Roco locomotive. It's number 04162A and it is a model of a French SNCF Y8000 and it says Loco-Tracteur on the side, but I think it's just shunting locomotive. Let's see if my assistant can tell us a little bit about this locomotive.
The Class Y8000 is a diesel shunting locomotive built by Fauvet-Durel and Moyes for the French National Railway Company, SNCF. They were produced between 1977 and 1989 and designed primarily for shunting and light freight operations. A total of 375 were produced. It has a distinctive appearance, featuring a short wheelbase and a low slung body. They have two axles, both powered by a Powered SSCM diesel engine, through a Voith hydraulic transmission. Top speed is 60 km per hour. In 2001 all remaining Y8000s were repainted in the Fret livery, so this model represents a Y8000 between 1977 and 2001.
Okay, so let's take a closer look at this. So you can see that this is a second-hand item that I got. The box is a bit bashed and it also has this sticker here from BT. So this was a toy shop here in the UK that closed down quite some time ago. So this is quite an old model. The cardboard sleeve just lifts off quite easily from the polystyrene tray and you can see the model inside. So this looks as though it had some instructions or extra parts here which aren't here anymore. So we've got the model out now. Let's have a closer look at it. So it is a second-hand model and you can see that it is a little bit dirty. So I'm going to give it a clean with my usual makeup brush here. Okay, so that looks a little bit better now. So let's have a look around this model and see what we've got. The front, you can see that it's got NEM pockets for couplings, but this one is missing a coupling at the front. It's easily fitted in. The NEM pocket is articulated as well, which is good. It'll help it to remain coupled when it's going over points. And there's a lot of nice detail in the front of the locomotive here. These handrails are in pliable plastic, so they're not likely to break so easily, which is good. It's got a nice representation of some lights at the front here. These lights aren't LEDs or anything, but they are a nice effect, and they've got these black surround, which is an extra piece of detail, which is really nice. Looking down the side of the locomotive, it has railings again, and once more these are pliable, so it will take a few knocks before they break, which is really good. This one has a little bit of chip paint here. That's a bit of a shame. The representation of the fuel tank and the battery box here on the side is really good, and it's got a fuel filler cap here. Down this end of the locomotive, it has the same arrangement of lights and railings, and it has some really nice detail up here, and it also has some windscreen wipers moulded into the plastic of the windows. There's no detail inside this locomotive, but you can barely see it anyway, but it would benefit from a little driver figure perhaps. Let's first of all see how much this weighs. So the locomotive weighs 292 grams, it's quite heavy. So I haven't run this model since I got it, so I've got out my trusty H&M Duet controller here, and I'm going to put some track together and see if we can get it working. Okay, I've just set up a little piece of track here and we've got the H&M switched on. It's humming away in the corner. So let's give it a go and see what happens. Oh, it's a bit rough. So it's going to need a little persuasion to get going. Okay, so I've broken down the model into these parts here. I can't seem to be able to get the body off the chassis, maybe me being stupid. I'm just going to give it a little test just now using the H&M just to check the motor. So I've got some power through the cables now. I'm just going to attach them to the model here and here. So you can hear that the motor is running pretty well. So I'm thinking this might be a problem just with the pickups. So I'm just going to use this track rubber to try and clean it a little bit. This part here is the contacts and a little bit of a circuit board with a resistor on it. And these little wipers run on the inside of the wheels. I'll show you this when we put it back together, it'll become more apparent. But I think it's these outside edges here that just need a little bit of a clean. You can see that this has got tarnished over age. I'm just going to use the rubber just slightly. So now you can see that it's quite shiny on the edges of these contacts. You need to be careful here. I actually bent this one over, so that was a bit of a mistake on my part, but hopefully this should work okay. Now I'm also going to clean up the insides of the wheels where the wipers run against them. So again, I'm just going to use the rubber on these as well. Okay, so you can see that the inside edges of these wheels are now quite shiny, so hopefully that'll make a good contact. While I've got these wheels out, I might as well actually clean the inside track as well, where it makes contact with the rails. Again, I'm just going to use the rubber again for that. Okay, so that's looking much better. The wheels are nice and shiny now, so I think we should put this back together and see what happens. So I'm going to start off by fitting these gear wheels, and they fit into this slot here, and here is the second one, which fits in here. So I'll just give those a little push, and they seem to be fine. Okay, so now I'm just going to give them a tiny little bit of oil. So I use this to apply oil to my locomotives. It's actually from a Tamiya remote control car kit, and the oil has been changed a few times, but just the tiniest of drops of oil. You don't want too much here. Now it's time to fit the wheels back in. So the back one goes into the slot there and meshes with the gears quite nicely. And the front one has this additional piece which needs to go in first. And then the wheel fits into the slot there. So these could do with a little bit of oil as well, just on the axles. So next is this part here. This is quite delicate to get in, so I'm going to use the tweezers. There is a slot for it there. You need to make sure that the wipers are on the inside of the wheels. It's actually proven to be quite tricky to get them all in. So the next part is the couplings. This is the one that was on the back. And you've got the pocket for the front. It doesn't have a coupling on this one, but you can easily fit one if you want. So that fits down into here. So I've got all the parts in. I'm going to very delicately add the bottom part, making sure I've got this round the right way. And now there's 3 screws to hold this together. I'll put in the smallest one first. And finally we just have to fit the buffers back in. I didn't need to take these out actually, I thought I did, but it turns out I didn't. Okay, I'm just going to wash my hands and then we'll see if this works. Okay, moment of truth, let's see what happens now. So it seems to work in reverse better than it does going forward. It's certainly quite noisy going forward, but at least it's working a lot better than it was before, so that's great news. Overall, when this model came to me, it was a bit stuttery and a bit dirty. I guess it had been used quite a lot, but now we've given it a clean and an oil, it seems to be running okay. It's quite a nice looking model. I don't often see a lot of French locomotives, and this little shunting locomotive has a lot of nice parts to it, a lot of nice detail, and a really good paint job. That all said, it is quite a crude mechanism and it does only run on DC, so it is starting to show its age a little, but I think it still stands up as a nice little addition if you wanted to add it to your model railway collection. I'll put this on the turntable so you can see all the way around it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and you can subscribe for more videos like this. But that's it for today. See you next time.